And welcome. David Levin here, Raise Your Game today. This is Tuesday, so we're talking about the mental game of sports and competition. Fridays are for the rest of our lives. This week, I want to talk about how to solve the thinking problem. So I'm working with a competitive ski racer. We'll call him Mitch. Great kid, super sharp. The problem is, like a lot of smart people, he tends to overthink things and get stuck in his head. In fact, he shared something his coach said that was perfect. He was telling his coach what he was focused on during his practice runs, and the coach said, "Man, it's like you're trying to solve world peace in the middle of a run." He was just thinking about so many different things. And, they were all good things. They were all focused on his performance. It's not like he was literally thinking about world peace, but it was just too much. Too many things and too much energy going into it. He was holding on to everything so tightly in his mind, he wasn't able to just relax and ski. He's getting a lot better, by the way. He actually won his race this past week. We're all pretty excited about that. But this brings up the central tension with the mental game. On the one hand, there's a lot to think about. We just had the Super Bowl this last weekend. Football is crazy for that. So many plays to memorize, so many crazy names for them. Then their strategy. What should you do against this specific opponent? What are their strengths and weaknesses? How can you take advantage of that? Then there's this current moment, right? What's happening right now? What are the conditions? How tired are they? Who has the momentum? There's just a ton to be dealt with intellectually in pretty much every sport. On the other hand, as we all know, being in your head is the number one killer of peak performance. So that's the thinking problem. How do you do the intellectual work required to perform at your highest level, while at the same time not get stuck in your head and hurt your game? And the answer is you need to develop a mental game skill called cognitive control. You may have heard me mention that before. Cognitive control means you can direct your thoughts and attention rather than having them jump around like they tend to do. So you're in the game, in competition, you can think about what needs your attention when the time is right for that, and then stop thinking when it's time to focus and perform. So you can literally switch your thoughts on and off from one moment to the next. The other part of that is that you need to develop a good sense of what it's like to be fully present rather than off in your head. We all have the experience now and then. We know what it's like, but we're not naturally good at getting there on purpose. So that's the other side of cognitive control. You can think about what's important when you need to. You can also stop thinking altogether and be focused and present. An image I like for this that I use in the Raise Your Inner Game book is that your brain, your thinking, is like a hammer. It's like a tool sitting on the workbench. You pick it up when you need to do the task. You set it back down when you're done. This might seem like an odd analogy, but you can experience the same dynamic when you're working on a project of some kind. When you're working on it, you have picked up the tool. You're thinking, you're experimenting, you're moving things around, trying this and that. When you need a new idea, either to continue or to fix something that's not working, you turn off thinking mode for a moment and you basically listen for new ideas. That's setting down the tool, quieting your mind. At some point, new ideas come up, you pick up the tool and get back to work. It's the same internal process, intentionally deciding what you think about and when, including times when you don't think at all. That's how you solve the thinking problem and optimize mental game performance. You learn cognitive control. It's a skill you can easily learn and practice and master if you have the right system. Of course, this is what we teach in the Raise Your Inner Game programs. It's perfect for athletes, but also for anyone who needs to consistently perform at their best, which is why our executive coaching program is so helpful and effective. Whatever you decide to do to boost your mental game, make sure it teaches cognitive control. If it doesn't, you're never going to get this kind of control, this level of control over your mental game. If it does, you will not believe the difference it makes for you, both in your game and in your life. To learn about our mental game training, check out raiseyourinnergame.com. For executive coaching, davidlevin.com. Either way, cognitive control is the key to solving the thinking problem and consistently performing at your highest level. All right, I hope that was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, keep up the good work. I'll see you next time.